Thank you for joining me today on Paint a Beautiful Picture. This is episode number 190. Does my life matter? I've seen some really disturbing statistics lately. This disturbing trend with the escalation of violence and severe prejudice against Asian American peoples is notably disturbing to me because my grandsons happen to be Asian American peoples. My one grandson constantly gets asked, "Are you Chinese?" Which is hilarious because he doesn't look at all Chinese. But they are Filipino Americans and they look decidedly more Filipino than American. You can most certainly tell that my grandsons are Asians. And so I know, and I get it, that people who are of any color whatsoever, who have prejudice against them simply because of the color of their skin or their nationality. And believe me, Native Americans suffer severe prejudice in many circles. And of course, I am of Native American descent as well. African Americans certainly understand what this is like. Most people at some point deal with some level of prejudice. And so we need to take it really seriously. We need to teach and train our children that your life, in fact, does matter, and so does everyone else's. I think the disturbing thing for me as well is in the whole various kinds of movements, and I won't address any of them specifically. People believe that in defense of their rights, of their position, of their need to be seen and heard, then they have a right to destroy other people's properties, to hurt other people, to harm them physically, to do violence against them, to insult or slander them, to destroy things which belong to them. All of these things are very indicative of someone who does not value themselves. And so, of course, then there's no possibility they can value the life of another. Our entire culture is at the point where we devalue other people's lives and the importance of their opinions and their different ideas, whether those ideas are political or spiritual, uh, even ideological. Wow. Just we're trying so hard to force everyone into this mold, and you've got to think like me and believe like me, or I can't like you and get along with you. Yeah, we just really have learned to devalue and disrespect other people, and it's a problem. So you need to teach your child that your life matters profoundly, and consequently, the lives of others all around you also matter a great deal. So, what in the world do you do? Let me tell you, if you're so busy at work that you don't get home till 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, you barely even get to kiss your kids goodnight, and half the time you don't get to do that because they've already gone to bed, you are not demonstrating to them that their life matters. Your work matters. Whatever sport you're involved in after work matters. Someone else in your world matters that you take out to dinner for a business meeting, but they do not matter. Be careful what messages you're sending by accident. Mom, especially those of you who work. If when you get home you're so busy taking care of stuff about them, laundry, dishes, getting something thrown on the table, making sure all their stuff is gathered together for tomorrow, but you're not sitting with them while they do their homework. You're not reading with them. You're not listening to them tell you about their day. You're not sitting with them at the dinner table. You're still up running around and grabbing something as you go. Yeah, you are not demonstrating to them that their life matters. Be careful what messages you are sending. If every single weekend there is something somewhere going on so that you never just sit down and spend time together. And I want to say this to you gently, but I'm serious. I don't mean 2 hours in front of the television set while there's a movie on. I'm not saying that's not time together, but it's not. You're not looking them in the eyes. You're not talking to them about their dreams. You're not talking to them about their problems. You're not talking to them about their friends and their school life and their whatever it is that they are concerned about. Then, no, really, you are still not demonstrating to them your life absolutely matters to me. And it's the message they get, because there are so many other demeaning, insulting, rude, questionable messages coming through that you better believe that it is your responsibility, nobody else's, to get the message across to your children. Your life matters to me. There's an interesting thing as a nurse that we learned. If we as a nurse don't care for the mom will really struggle to care for her baby. That might only be a few hours, literally 8 to 30 something hours in the hospital with the nursing staff. But the more we care for her and the more we make her feel safe and treasured, the more time we spend, the better she's going to do at that initial bonding time. And that care of her baby is an absolute fact. It is irrefutable. Look at all the research. You're going to find out I'm right. I want to contend with you. It is equally true with your own child. So I've had this discussion with you before, but I'm going to repeat myself. You have a baby. You take this baby, you stick the bottle in his mouth, but you're talking to like your friends, your neighbor, you're on the phone, you're watching the TV, you're stuck on your YouTube channel. That's not telling them anything, except for all these other things matter more than you. Babies desperately long for the human face. You need to hold your baby in your arm. You need to give that baby the bottle, similar to what happens if you give them the breast. You need to talk to that baby. You need to interact with that baby. You need to touch that baby's arm. You need to demonstrate to them that for these 15 minutes, there is nothing else that matters to me except for you. Literally, moms, I'm going to beg you, turn off everything. The TV, your phone, everything. I'm begging you. In those 15 minutes that you feed your baby. I realize this is not the kind of message that you get in today's world. I am not a dumb person. I know what normal stuff looks like today. But I'm telling you, that baby needs to know how significantly he or she matters to you, and only you can demonstrate that. So please do. It's one of your first steps as a parent in demonstrating your life matters. As a little kid, I actually know a mom who sends her 2.5-year-old off to play, and I do mean hours a day. Whether that's watch the TV, go play in your room, here's a tablet. 2.5. I cannot even say to you how much my heart is breaking. Because those little kids know nothing until we teach them. And when everything else is so much important than spending time with them, interacting with them, touching them, teaching them, laughing with them, playing games with them, they find out they're not actually all that important. They just need to get out of your space and your face. Oh, this is not a message that children need to hear. And across the United States of America, I can tell you right now, hundreds of thousands of children are getting that message every day. And I mean by decent parents. I'm not talking about abusive parents. I mean decent ones who don't know how critical this one is. You need to be with your child, and your child needs to be with you. If you're doing the dishes, they should be in the kitchen. You should let them pull out the pots and pans and have a wooden spoon and make racket and make music and bang the lids together. And you need to deal. Grow up and deal with being an adult and a little bit of noise, and recognize that your kid needs to play and make some noise, and it should be very nearby where you are. You should let them know, I love you. I'm crazy about you. I'm excited to be with you. And I'm not going to just send you off somewhere to get out of my space. I want to be with you. I think you are amazing, and I'm going to spend time with you. I look at some of all these interactive games, and again, I have to say to you, as someone who understands the normal growth and development of a child, I'm upset because they aren't meant to have to do this all themselves. Children learn by the things that we teach them and show them and demonstrate to them. This includes our attitudes, our ability to deal with frustration, our capacity to be patient and gracious and kind, even when things get spilled, even when there's a mess. They need us desperately. And when we are with them, and when we want to be with them, and we're excited to be with them, we show them, your life is so important to me. And oh, God help us all, conversely, when we're constantly pushing them aside, we are in fact showing them, yeah, your life isn't all that important to me, because my life, my ability to sit down and watch TV, my ability to be on the phone with my friends, my ability to play games all day, what I want, what I need, that's what matters. And that sends a horrific message to a child, because your life actually doesn't matter much. So Lord help us all, when they grow up and they're a teenager or a young adult and they don't think anyone else's lives matter, where did they get that message? Because I can tell you where. From their mom or their dad. So give them a different message, Mom. I'm begging you. Give them an entirely different message, Dad. I am begging you. Because the reason they find out that their life matters is by you showing them an active demonstration of your time and your energy and your love that their life matters. Okay, I know I got a little soapboxy there on you, but lands, it's a big deal. Okay, then I know we all get tired as parents. You need to have other people that can demonstrate to them that their life matters, whether that's an aunt or an uncle, a really good friend of yours, your folks. Somebody somewhere in the world also needs to show them that their life really matters. They need to get this message repeatedly from various places. I'm going to repeat this statistic. I talked to you about this a couple weeks ago. Today in the United States of America, it's 2022, in case you don't know this, 1,000 kids a day between the ages of 10 and 15 commit suicide. I really wish I could change that fact, but it's a fact. If you don't want that child to be your child, to really question the value of their life, what am I even doing here anyways? Is anybody ever going to miss me if I'm gone? Do I have anything important to contribute to the world? You better be showing them that their life is extremely important to you and of great value. I believe you need to say these words to your children. I said them to mine a lot, but you also need to prove it. You need to do your best to be at every game they ever have, every recital they ever have, even go to rehearsals occasionally if you can manage it, and not be buried in your phone and not be buried in your tablet. Watch them and say, wow, you did so great today. I was really proud of you. I saw you complete that pirouette. I saw you catch that ball that was really at an amazing arc and the sun was in your face and you still managed to get your hands on it. That was so great. You need to be paying attention. So I have a challenge question for you. Does my child's life actually matter to me? And am I proving it? Because if you go, oh yeah, of course my kids' lives matter to me. That's what people always tell me in counseling too. Of course they do. Yeah, okay, so why are you not paying any attention at all? Why do you not know what they're struggling with? Why do you not have any idea what they fight with their best friend about? Why do you not understand that they desperately need this from you, but even though they've told it to you 8 or 10 times, you haven't even heard it yet because you're so busy with your face buried somewhere else about something else? Your head in the clouds someplace? Don't tell me how important they are. Your life is proving differently. And not just to me, because I only talk to you an hour a week, but to them. So what are you doing? If in fact your child's life is important to you, prove it to them by interacting with them, talking with them, going places with them, laughing with them, sharing deep joy and affection with them, sharing their tears and their sorrows and their frustrations with them, taking time to really honestly listen to them And as we've talked about, some kids will just sit down and blah, 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 blah. They'll pour out their guts to you. Some kids, especially if you have neglected them for a long time or you raised them in a manner where you kept sending them off, they're not just going to hand you their guts on a silver platter. You're going to have to spend some time, and it's going to come out in little bits and pieces here and there. And you have to invest that time. If it does really matter, if it really is important, you need to do it. Now, let me tell you something really critical for you to get. If I'm not a valuable person, if I don't believe that, no one else is. Because there's an interesting concept, and I know Jesus got this one exactly right. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you have no self-respect, you can't respect the other guy. If you have no grace for yourself, you can't be gracious to the other guy. If you have no kindness for yourself, you cannot be kind to anyone else. If you do not believe your life is valuable, you cannot value anyone else's life. People kill each other. People beat each other up and hurt each other. People do horrid, unspeakable things to each other. Much of that is because they don't like themselves. They don't value themselves. They don't deem themselves worthy of respect. They're not very important. So neither is anyone else. It sounds like a little thing, but you can actually contribute to the well-being of the world, as well as to your own well-being and your household's well-being and your child's well-being, by demonstrating loudly and clearly, often without words, how vitally important your child's life is. If your child ever asks the question, does my life matter? Somewhere in their heart and their mind should be a resounding yes. They should know their life matters to you. And I, again, am going to say this to you as a Christian because I really believe it. They should know that their life matters to God. Every life is created for a purpose. Every single life. You need to let your child know that. You have something worthwhile to contribute to this world. I may not know what that is. That may be beauty in art or music or dance. It may be in science. You may be the person who cures cancer or Lou Gehrig's disease or one of a dozen other things that are horrible in people's worlds. You may be someone who develops an amazing new idea that no one ever thought of before. If you don't believe it, look at Bill Gates or some of the other amazing minds in our time. Your life has a purpose. But you know, if you never grew up and accomplished anything amazing or astounding, you have a family, you love your wife, you love your husband, you love your children. Your life will be of great purpose because mine is, because of you, because I love you, because we have a family together, because you are a part of our home. And I'm so glad that I get to be your mom. I'm so excited that I'm your dad. Your life has a purpose. It means so much to me that you are my son, that you are my daughter. You matter. You truly matter. Mom and Dad, this is one of the places of great influence that we have in the life of our children. We can help them to understand your life matters. And when they really get a hold of that, like it just gets deep into their bodies and souls, they will also have respect and regard for others and recognize that the lives of all of us truly matter. I hope this has been a great encouragement for you today. I recognize this part is work. It goes against what we know in our own nature when we want time to ourselves and we want to do what we need to take care of. And we have busy lives. We have so many responsibilities. But Mom and Dad, this is a huge one. get the message across to your own children that you are vital, you are loved, your life matters to me so very much. You may find additional information on our paintabeautifulpicture.com website. Additionally, you may watch me on Rumble, and you may also listen to a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spreaker, all under the name Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You may subscribe, and if you are interested in receiving notifications, please hit the notifications button.